So, what if an AI could do more than just suggest a few lines of code? I mean, what if it could build an entire, commercially viable application from the ground up, completely on its own? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating scientific experiment that put that exact idea to the test.
Okay, so to really get this, we first have to understand the core problem this whole experiment is trying to solve. And it's something the researchers have a great name for, the sewing machine problem.
Just think about it for a second. We have all this incredible futuristic technology everywhere, but the actual process of building professional, high-quality software, it's still a largely manual craft. It's kind of like using an old-school sewing machine. Yeah, it's powerful, but man, is it slow. It requires intense skill, and things can get incredibly tangled and complex really, really fast.
And this whole thing really boils down to two huge issues. First, it is just incredibly labor-intensive, which means it's expensive. I mean, with developer rates hitting $90 an hour, the cost can just absolutely skyrocket. And at the same time, there's this growing trust problem with AI. Most of the AI coding tools we have today are what the source calls vibe coding assistants. They're great for a quick suggestion, but they just don't have the deep traceability and the quality control you absolutely need for professional, mission-critical software. So, all of this leads us to the ultimate challenge, a question that really pushes beyond the limits of what we thought AI could even do in software development. And this entire massive experiment was sparked by one simple, powerful question. A researcher was just watching an AI generate code and thought to themselves, how far can it keep going? I mean, it's one thing to get it to write a single function, but what about a whole system?
And that right there is the core question we're digging into today. Can we actually move past this idea of an AI as just a helpful little assistant and prove it can be an autonomous builder? Something capable of creating a complete, sellable product from start to finish.
So to answer that question, the researchers designed this really novel experiment. They built a specialized, autonomous AI agent, and they gave it one single, complex task: go build a real application.
And here it is, the star of our show, the code machine. Now, this is not your average AI assistant. This is an autonomous agent powered by a large language model, and it was specifically designed to handle the entire software development process by itself, from the initial high-level idea all the way to the final product, with zero human hands on the keyboard.
Its whole workflow is basically a complete assembly line for code. First, it takes the goal and decomposes it into a super detailed plan. Then, it just starts building, generating code, saving its progress, just like a human developer would. But here's the absolute game changer, the critical third step: automated quality control. It is constantly running, testing, and analyzing its own work, finding errors, and then planning how to fix them, all on its own.
So, the code machine was tasked with building a pretty complex application, a tool that lets you query a database using just plain English. I mean, this was no simple Hello World project. So how did it turn out?
Right, so after setting it loose, the moment of truth, the big question remained, could it actually pull this off? How did the code machine really do on this pretty complex task?
The results are frankly stunning. The agent completed the entire task in just about 16 hours. For a human, that's estimated to be around 169 hours. And the cost? Under $72 for the AI versus an estimated $8,500 for manual development. It's just a staggering difference. I mean, let's just let that sink in for a second. The entire application was built for a direct computational cost of just $71.66. That's less than a nice dinner out. And it did the whole thing in just over 16 hours. It basically completed what's estimated to be a month's worth of full-time human work, overnight. And listen, this wasn't some buggy, half-baked prototype. The final application was fully functional. It passed every single one of the 156 tests thrown at it, 100% success rate. This level of performance just seems, well, it seems almost unbelievable. So what's the secret? How in the world did the code machine achieve this remarkable feat of autonomous development? What's the secret sauce? Well, when the researchers cracked open the agent's logs, they found this fascinating breakdown of how it spent its time and money. See, the agent has these different internal roles, one for building, one for running code, and a big one for quality control. And this is where we find the secret. It's incredible. The agent spent a staggering 70% of its total time on quality control. So it wasn't just about writing code faster. It was spending the vast majority of its effort testing, verifying, and correcting its own work. At the end of the day, true autonomy in building software isn't just about generating code really fast. It's about creating a system that can relentlessly and automatically check its own work. This constant loop of build, test, analyze, and correct, that's what allowed it to succeed with no human help at all.
Okay, so understanding the secret, that real autonomy is actually built on verification, that has massive implications for the future of how we create software and, frankly, what it even means to be a developer.
This could honestly change everything. The developer's role is going to shift away from writing individual lines of code to designing systems and supervising these AI agents. We're going to see the rise of what they call AI-native development cycles, where this automated loop is the new standard. And maybe most excitingly, this could truly democratize software creation, allowing anyone with a great idea to build incredibly powerful tools.
I think this quote from the research paper just sums it up perfectly. This isn't about replacing humans, it's about elevating them. The developer's job moves up from the nitty-gritty details to the big picture strategy. The human defines the what and the why, and the AI flawlessly executes the how.
And all of this leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. When all the tedious work of writing and debugging code is handled by an AI, it frees up our human creativity to tackle bigger, more complex problems. So, if an AI can build the code, what incredible things will we build next?